welcome to Alone with a Man, and I am your host, Nocturnal Scourge. And this is today's new to me record. It is 1349, and I love it. It's called The Infernal Pathway. And if you look, it's got like a gold look to it. On the front, on the back, a little bit of ghosting with the glyph. And then, yes, it is a double album. Not my favorite thing to listen to, but this thing kicks. 1349, as we all know, is the year the Black Plague went to Europe. Great cuts on this thing are Abyss of Antiquities, Through the Eyes of Stone, flip the record over. And then you have the Tunnel of Set, Enter Cold Void Dreaming, Towers Upon Towers. Side 4 is what they call it, Tunnel of Set. Again, deeper still, Striding the Chasm. And side 9 is Dodds Camp, Tunnel of Set, and Stand Tall in Fire. And I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way the record really looks. Because I think these are, if you're new to black metal, these guys take the cake for me. They're a more modern band. Nothing real old, no Mayhem, no Bathory, nothing like that. They are good. Great production, great quality. Just overall, good record. Nope, they're just black metal, black. So that's what we're dealing with. So that song that I was just working on, it's going to be called Hold Your Breath. And Hold Your Breath is basically about being sent to the gas chamber. I'd always wanted to do a whole album on different execution types. Some have been done before, some kind of boring. It's kind of hard to make material for them. But I'm going to do this gas chamber one, and it's going to be a real thrash-based kind of song. It's going to have a lot of double basses, a lot of choruses. Probably just be, verse, chorus, bridge, something like that. Real short solo in there. But maybe not.
Infernal Insight.
So today's Infernal Insight is all about how Paul Bostop and how he approached Kerry F. King and how they made their new record. The album is titled From Hell I Rise. The recordings were different as obviously the pandemic had hit and no one could go anywhere. Well, we all know that. I mean, nobody went anywhere unless you had a critical job. I had a critical job, so I got to work every day. But Kerry King, Paul Bostop, they played by the rules. They didn't go anywhere. They stood home. What Kerry would do is he'd send Paul drum charts, and Paul would come up with about 10 different demos. Now, not all those demos are on the record, but they do plan on making another record as far as I can tell. Paul goes on to say that it was very streamlined, no wasted time. Kerry's very functional. He's very precise. He wants what he wants, when he wants, where he wants. And as a professional guitarist, I don't disagree with the man. Why not? If you were going to get what you're going to get, you might as well get what you're going to get. Paul on his drumming From Hell I Rise. There was no shadow hanging over my head is what he said. And by that he means Dave Lombardo's shadow. Dave Lombardo is the godfather of drumming thrash. Second only to maybe Motorhead. That's the only other one I could think of. He's not trying to live up to anything. He's not trying to be the former drummer of Slayer anymore. He's now Kerry King's drummer. And Paul also says that he's just doing me all the way. Just a new path. He doesn't want to be known as the old Slayer drummer. He doesn't want to be Paul Bostop, formerly known as Dave Lombardo, formerly known as the drummer from Slayer. No, he's just Paul Bostop. Kerry writes on how he does and play, and he said a lot of times that they would go into the studio being in Slayer and stuff would be half done, the solos would be hurried, and he just couldn't get it. He says this time we're on fire, and it's because of it's how it's supposed to be. It's been so long. They haven't been in the studio. They haven't done anything in a long time. And Kerry says that they're just dying to get back in. Paul also says that while they're there, they feel the most prepared. He said that before Slayer had missing solos. They had solos that weren't done. A lot of the lyrics weren't ready. And going in now, Kerry has everything done. He did the vocals. He laid down some scratch tracks with that. And then he brought in the Armored Saints, former singer. Their frontman Mark Osaguro. I'm sorry, from Death Angel is where Mark Osaguro is from. They just said that they weren't ready a lot of times in Slayer, and now with this new stuff, they're ready. You've also got Phil Demmel laying in the solos, and again, he sent a lot of stuff in to Kerry, and Kerry approved it. He gave it to Paul, and Paul drummed around it, and Paul's just saying that everything is just laid out now. Now, if you want to see Kerry King and the boys, they're opening for the Ashes of Leviathan tour, which is Lamb of God and Mastadon, and they're hitting North America right now. It's supposed to be a co-headliner tour. On the Lamb of God tour, Ashes of the Wake is being done by Health. I'm not sure what it is, and I'm really not sure as to what's going on with it, but I do know that they're super excited. But Lay to Rest is one of Lamb of God's most popular songs. Kerrang described it as the soundtrack to 1 Million Busted Lips and Broken Bones. Loudwire described it as it knocks the wind out of you. Talk about the tone of the album. So I'm excited and I'm not. Lamb of God is a good band. I've seen them twice. I've seen them open for Megadeth, and I've also seen them open for Pantera Revisited, whatever you want to call it, the tribute Pantera. I'm not even going down that rabbit hole right now, but they're good. To me, they're not a great band. They're up there with Hatebreed, maybe Anthrax. I'd put them in that social circle right there. Great guitars, but I'm just not too big on that, you know. Oh, you've got something to die for. I need to clear my throat. It's not death metal. It's not thrash. It's like a little bit in between, kind of scratchy, kind of graggly, kind of, I don't know. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. A suggestion of the day. Well, I do. I like to play stuff that I know how to play, and I also like to play what I can sound like. And one of the easiest ones, I think, is Ace Frehley. Not so much that his playing style is easy. I like the sloppiness of it, and I've been compared to him, but at the same time, he's easy. I've got a JCM 900. I put everything to 12 o'clock straight up. No effects, maybe a wah, maybe a flanger. That's about it. And I have both of those. I got Kirk Hammett's wah pedal and pretty much just an old junky flanger. But I turn those on and I kind of get to it. Now, if I could just sing like him, Torpedo Girl, Rocket Ride, stuff like that. I don't know how to sing, and I definitely don't know how to sound like Ace. But as far as the solos go, I love playing his solos. I love rocking down the old albums of Kiss, Kiss Alive, first one of my favorites, Rock and Roll Over, even Frehley's solo album and his solo venture. I've seen Ace 3-4 times now, different venues here in Houston, back in Jersey. Just great guy. I love trying to emulate him. The next part of the show is going to be either famous last words, great quotes, or quoted, maybe even misquoted last words. But this week it's going to be somebody's last words, and that somebody is named Dead, and he was in a band called Mayhem, and his last words really got me into black metal. Now, it's not my favorite genre by no means. More so, I would say hair metal, or maybe just plain old thrash. Like, if you could mix thrash with hair metal and dabble in a little black metal just to make it easy, I think I would like that. Maybe a little death, because I like the lyrics of a lot of death metal songs also. But if you could just stir that around and make something out of it, throw in the Misfits for their tone, and War with Iron Maiden. But anyway, Dead's suicide note is written to intrigue, incite, stupefy, maybe even horrify. Famous line, "Excuse the blood, but I have slit my wrists and neck. I was the intention that I would die in the woods so that I would take a few days before I was possibly found. I belong in the woods and have always done so. No one will understand the reason for this anymore. To give some semblance of an explanation, I am not human. This is just a dream, and I will wake. I was too cold, and the blood was coagulating all the time. Plus, my new knife is too dull. If I don't succeed dying to the knife, I will blow all the shit out of my skull. Yet I do not know. I left all the lyrics by Let the Good Times Roll, plus the rest of the money. Whoever finds it gets the fucking thing. As a last salutation, may I present Life Eternal. Do whatever you want with the fucking thing. Pell. I didn't come up with this now, but 17 years ago, in the lyrics to Life Eternal that were included, a dream of another existence you wish to die, a dream of another world you pray for death. To release a soul one must to die. To find peace inside you must get eternal. I am immortal, but am I human? How beautiful life is now when my time has come. A human destiny, but nothing human inside. What will be left of me when I'm dead? There was nothing when I lived. What you found was eternal death. No one will ever miss you. Question and answer time. My first question is knock. I like that. I like how I said knock rather than nocturnal. Shortened it. Real short. Have you ever been so broke you could buy a new guitar, but you had to sell your old one? Have you ever been that broke as to where the good guitar was your old guitar, but you wanted just a new guitar? And yes, I have. I had a Ibanez Destroyer with a hollow flash finish to it, and this thing was massive. It was the biggest guitar I ever owned. It by far blew the Dean out of the water that I have, the Dean Zero, the Megadeth version. But this thing was heavy. It was big. I think I bought it when I was like maybe 16. Played in my band with it, and then had it shipped out to California when I moved to California. And then after that, I think after I lived in Japan, came back to America, and living in Texas, I think I sold it finally. And why? Because I was just in a funk. I was just in a really bad place at the time. My life was changing. It was changing extremely. I was getting out of the military. I had some really bad situations going on, and I just sold it. I should have never sold it. I don't even know whoever bought it. It was sold on eBay for a couple $100, way less than what it was worth. Way less than what it was worth to me. But I just wanted to get rid of it. I got rid of a lot of stuff at that time. I really shouldn't have. But some stuff that I did get rid of was beneficial to my life and me growing and me becoming a new person, a better life. And my second question for Nocturnal Scourge, your right-hand style is almost like that of Adrian Smith or Ace Frehley. It's sloppy, but completely well. I love how sloppy players Ace Frehley play. Well, so do I. I mean, I just talked about the dude. Ace Frehley, Izzy Stradlin, Adrian Smith. They have a slow jazz kind of thing that they've always got going on. Even their solos, they're more laid back. They're more, I wouldn't even say a groove, because Dime had groove, but Dime was very meticulous with his hand on his strumming hand. And I'm not about that. I'm not about 500 downstrokes a minute. And everybody says that, I'm not about the speed. I'm more about the what I can do in three minutes with 5 notes. Yeah, it sounds good, but when you're just chugging and you hit a harmonic by accident, and by no means am I no Zakk Wylde. That man can get harmonics out of his beard. But I like it. I like when you're just going along and you hear that squeal and it wasn't intended. And at the same time, sometimes you go to squeal and it's not there. I've seen Ace do it. I've seen Ace bang his rings and his fingers off the fretboards and stuff. And it just comes from years and years and years of playing. I know those guys are masters of their trade, and by no means am I at all. And it's hard to keep up with it. It's hard to play a lot. It's hard because I work shift work. Tomorrow I go on nights. The next set's days, and back to nights and days. And I've gone weeks, months now without being able to play because the shift work just gets to you after a while, and it's hard. And especially when I was in the military, I'd go away for 6 months on end, not be able to play guitar, or even when I was deployed to the war. You're out there over 6 months, 8, 10, 12, some guys. And it's hard to live that double life. You want to be that, bedroom rock star, but you've got other things to do. You got your parenting to do. You've got your husbanding to do. I'm refurbishing some stuff downstairs that hopefully you'll be able to see here in the chamber. And that brings me to another point. I want to give you guys a tour of my room. I want you guys to see old Frankenstein back there and what's going on with this lava lamp that's just chilling somewhere over right there. I got some cool stuff I want to show off. So hit me up about that also if you want to see a room tour. And hopefully it starts evolving. I just bought paint. As you can see, I ran out of painting the wall. But that's about it. That comes to the end of Alone with a Man. And this was number 2. Tell me what you think of it. Remember to look me up for Battle of Trenton on Bandcamp. Check out my song. And tell me, what do you think of this? Is it metal enough? Is it too metal? Do you want to hear some other stuff? This time I didn't throw in the politics. I'll throw in politics next time, I promise. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.